I don't know. They're college students, man. They're college students. If they just met,
What does that mean? They're college students.
if they just met, they're probably
You think they're just
not
gonna
long
get down
away
and
from.
dirty on the first date?
Yeah. I mean, I would.
Wow, it's very nice.
Hello and welcome to the FRAG review show. Today we'll be reviewing episode 6 of Rent a Girlfriend. Episode 6. I think the episode was pretty interesting overall. What do you think about it, Ruben?
I don't think it had too much going on, to be honest. It
No?
was interesting. It was good. It was entertaining, but not much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, but we got to see the new girl. What do you think about the new? Oh, well, yeah, okay. So you don't think the introduction of the new girl was anything in particularly great or like interesting?
I think it's more of kind of one of those leading episodes. I mean, a lot of the series, like pretty much all the episodes are leading into the next, but this one's kind of like a slow build up.
Yeah,
Like the beach episode had like a slow build up to the next episode, which had quite a lot going on.
that's true.
Yeah, the bar episode had a lot going on that kind of like led up to a lot.
There was also a little bit of intrigue at the end of the show. Or
You
you
mean
don't agree with that?
you mean how she kept pestering about how you're a rental girlfriend, aren't you?
Yeah, and then
Oh,
he
oh, you
changed.
mean at the very end when
Yeah, the very end.
where she's standing there and she's like, oh hey fake boyfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah, but again that's just another big lead up. Yeah.
okay. Well, I know that you did make a prediction last episode. How did your prediction go for what happened this episode?
Um, the small prediction was the sleeping arrangements. The larger prediction being that he would run into that they're getting closer, that he would something would come and shake it up, maybe another rental girlfriend. We don't know whether this girl is a rental girlfriend or not, but her behavior is quite similar, and her knowledge about rental girlfriends
Her
is a bit suspicious.
behavior. Yeah,
Like-
yeah, okay, I see it.
Like how she was like holding hands and stuff, and it was a very short date. And
Holding hands isn't a rental girlfriend behavior. I think when you said rental girlfriend behavior, the thing that came up in my mind immediately was remember when she was like acting really, really polite during the rock climbing? Like she bowed and
along with all that.
that.
Yeah.
That seems like to be overly kind of like very overly polite seems like it's not really something you'd see in a typical relationship. Like the politeness just goes away and it's just more personal.
Well, I haven't seen many boyfriend girlfriend animes, but how would that fare in the anime scene? They seem pretty polite when there's a girl that likes a guy.
Well, anime is just recreating things in real life as well, so the dynamics of a relationship should be more personal as is. I don't.
Right. Yeah, so the other suspicious behaviors was the length of the date, and they didn't kiss to say goodbye.
That's true, but he just met her, so you can also think that maybe they're just not at that point yet.
I don't know. They're college students, man. They're college students. If they just met,
What does that mean? They're college students.
If they just met, they're probably
You think they're just
not
gonna
long
get down
away
and
from.
dirty on the first date?
Yeah. I mean, I would.
Yeah, alright. Well, you're a special kind of man.
No, come on.
What do you mean, come on?
I think it's pretty normal.
To get down and dirty on the first date as a college student?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like college culture has changed a lot recently as well, so.
My friend's younger brothers, they've had multiple partners by the time they've left high school, and they've gone down and dirty. And not even on their first date, just like, hey, let's get down and dirty.
guess I'm just living a different life to everyone else. Okay. So,
I do think it is better when you hold off and make it a bit more special.
in a way, but I suppose it. I
Sometimes you just
suppose
need to let
after
your
the
hormones.
fact, it doesn't really seem so special.
Sometimes you just gotta let your hormones do the talking for you.
Yes, sometimes. Okay, so let's just recap some of the events of what happened in the show. So Kazuya tells Chizuru he's growing as he spends time with her and wants to date her a little longer. And Chizuru agrees to date longer, saying that it's also common in her job to help her clients grow and find a real girlfriend. So, given that, do you think is Chizuru starting to get more personally attached to Kazuya, or is it still just business?
Well, it goes either way for me, right? Like the way that she presented that argument it sounded kind of businessy, but at the same time, when he pleaded his side of the case, he thought that he was talking to an asleep Chizuru, which meant
I think he expected her to listen, but when she didn't say anything, he thought, nah, she's just asleep. She doesn't give a fuck.
I thought that he was just trying to muster up the courage to say something out loud, something that he wouldn't have
He
the
was actually
confidence to
saying
say
that pretty
to.
loud though, wasn't he? His voice was raised when he was saying that.
I don't know. I think it's kind of like one of those things. Like I want to say it to her, but I don't want her to be awake. I just want to muster up the courage to say it to her when she's conscious, kind of thing. That's how I read it.
If that was the case, wouldn't he just not face her and just look the other way and in his bed be like, "Oh, Caesar, why can't we just date any longer?"
They painted a pretty nice picture of her being asleep. You know, they even led up to it by him saying to himself, like, "How can I fall asleep like this?" You know, and it looks like she was dozing off.
Uh, well, yeah. I think he wanted her to hear it, but she didn't.
My theory of being asleep. Yeah, no doubt he wanted her to hear it, but I don't think that he thought that she was awake, and that you know.
I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree on this one because he got up out of his bed, he faced her, he started speaking, and I'm from what I can remember, his voice wasn't like, "Hey, Chizuru, why can't we just keep things going between us? I don't want this to end. I feel like we have something special going on." He wasn't using that kind of voice. He was using, "Chizuru, why can't we keep doing things? I've been growing so much because of you." Like he was exclaiming something almost when he was saying that, but
I think it's a very used technique in TV and film where they're talking to an unconscious person,
true.
and it's even more used that the person actually isn't unconscious and hears it. But lots of the time either they respond or you just see a picture of like the girl, or like from her point of view where she kind of smiles or something and doesn't say anything. It continues to pretend sleeping.
But I just feel
So
like
I thought it was pretty tough.
his voice was not the kind of voice you'd do in those kinds of scenes because they don't it's a more hushed tone that they use in those scenes usually. I didn't
I don't know.
he wasn't using a hushed tone.
It didn't seem like he was talking too loud to me. But anyways, let's go with my theory, and I think that it was very non-businessy for her to be awake. Why is she awake? In in my theory of things.
Why is she awake? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. That yeah.
So I think that
I
they are developing more personally, but at the same time she's keeping a business, and it's further evidenced by I can't not charge you because that will set a bad precedent for my other clients. Like, why does she have to say that?
Did she actually say that?
Yeah.
I don't remember her saying that. I I'm inclined to agree with you. I think that there's a lot of times where she didn't really have to do anything, but she went out of her way to make things more noticeable or keep things going to a certain extent. She could have just pretended like she was still sleeping, but she actually turned around to say something. And I think the last episode, she couldn't have said anything when he said he was just going to go sleep somewhere else, but she turned around and said that you could just sleep here. What's wrong with that? I think there's a bit more. There's something more personal there rather than just business. All right, let's move on. So, not long after this, Kazuya meets the new girl, Ruka. Um, what do we think of her? What's our first impressions? What do you think, Ruben?
I just love how Kazuya runs into her, and they knock each other to the ground, and her underwear's showing, and he gets called a perv. Like, I just love it when that kind of stuff happens in anime, when it's pretty unavoidable to not see the person's underwear, and then the guy ends up getting called a perv.
Yeah, it's the anime trope where the girl, where they get into a lewd situation and the guy's called the pervert. So
Your microphone's gone a bit funny again.
shit.
Just start counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
There's a little fucking tiny bit of ear rape.
Yeah, so in anime, it's a typical trope. The two characters get into a lewd situation, and the guy is painted as the pervert. That's just the typical thing with anime. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. What are your?
Yeah, well, that was just my thoughts of their first interaction. I quite liked her actually. We didn't see much of her, so there wasn't really much of her to hate, except for her interaction with Chizuru, like one on one, which Mac isn't here to defend, so it was completely fine. But
Yeah, I wonder what
she
Mac
was a
would have said about that.
she was a bit aggressive. I don't know. Maybe she is a rental girlfriend. She wants to kind of prove that she's right, or maybe she's been like had her boyfriend cheat on her with a rental girlfriend or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
It seems kind of odd why she's so aggressive. Maybe it's something else completely.
I do think that there is something. I do think that she might be a rental girlfriend. I suspect it because I don't know. It's just about the way she acts, I guess. But uh, yeah,
There wasn't really too much to think about it. It's a bit like there wasn't much of her. It was just like she was very upfront about her opinions and very kind of verbally aggressive.
yeah.
So we don't know the reasons why. So
Well, it might be something to do with her character just naturally because she did come off as a bit of a I don't know, like a brat, I guess, when he first meets her, and then she turns into this more polite person when she's with Curie. But she also, yeah, she also gives him this bratty personality when no one's looking as well. Kazuya, that is. So I think that also leads up to me thinking that she might be a rental.
and she changed her appearance.
She did change her appearance. That's right.
More signs that we didn't talk about. But then again, she was on a date, so
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the new girl. So let's move on. So they do end up going to that rock climbing date, the double date, when Kiri brings Ruka with him and Kazuya goes with Chizuru. And that's when eventually Ruka pulls Chizuru aside and starts telling her, I think you're a rental girlfriend. Chizuru denies it, but she still tries to get them to prove it. She tries getting them to kiss. They fake a kiss, but she's still skeptical because the whole thing is covered up. So I guess the next question will be: is the rental relationship between Kazuya and Chizuru obvious? would you be able to pick up on that, Ruben, if you were hanging around him?
I'm not sure. I mean, his best mate is convinced that he's in a good relationship. So by that logic, I'd say it's not obvious. But I like to say the only people that really know you is yourself. So your good friends can get good predictions, but they'll never be spot on.
That's true, but so you don't think you could, as someone hanging around Kazuya, figure out that he has a fake relationship with Chizuru?
Well, my whole logic's based off his best mate. I can't remember his name. The one that punched him in the face.
Yeah,
That got him the ferry
Kibei.
ticket.
Kibei.
T-Bay. If he doesn't know, then he's known Kazuya since they were children. Just based off that logic, it's not obvious. But if they're really that close, and you'd assume that they would have gone to Kazuya's house a lot, and by logic, they would have run into Chizuru.
Why do you think he wouldn't have picked up on it? Do you think it's because they're just that good at hiding it, or do you think there's another reason why he might not pick up on it?
Well, one, Chizuru is a professional, and two, Kazuya really wants to hide a lie.
True, but I think Chizuru being professional is to the detriment of making up that lie, because as I mentioned earlier, I think relationships are a bit more personal. A lot of that polite attitude kind of goes away when you date someone, or once you're well into dating someone. So I think that kind of goes towards its detriment. But the reason I'd still also not really think that she's a rental is because I'd have too much trust in my friends. I wouldn't really question the things that they say too harshly. I'd just say, all right, whatever. Yeah, they're going out. I wouldn't be too. Yeah, I just wouldn't question it. If he says that that's happening, all right. Like I don't really have that much going against it to think otherwise.
And you definitely wouldn't ask them to kiss to prove it.
No.
That being said, if it got to that point that in reality, if they wanted to cover the lie, they wouldn't fake kiss; they would just actually kiss.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, so let's keep it moving. At the, or close to the end of or basically the end of the episode, Kazuya follows Kuri and Ruka when they're going home because he wants to try and stop Ruka from saying anything to Kuri. After the two of them split, Kuri and Ruka, after they split, Kazuya follows Ruka down into the train station to, I guess, I don't know, bribe her somehow to get her to stop because he's really bent on the idea that she figured him out. But she's not taking it. Him coming down there to try and talk to her apparently sets her off and says, "Yeah, you're definitely a fake. you definitely have a fake relationship going on." So, with that said, what do you think will happen in the next episode? What are our predictions?
So many predictions because
I haven't actually thought up on my prediction yet, so you can do yours and I'll go
it
off of
can
that.
go kind of like so many ways. Kazuya can pull out his silver tongue and kind of like try and convince, like at least in a basic sense, that she's wrong. That he was just kind of like offended by the way she treated him.
Do you think he's the kind of guy to do a silver tongue move though? Like, did you see his face when she said, "Oh, hello there, faker"?
Yeah, but you don't really need much of a silver. You can just say, "Man, I was upset with the way you spoke about me." He doesn't need
You think
too
he's
much
gonna
of a
man up?
convincing tone.
You think that he's already gotten to that level? Has he? Has he gotten to that character growth yet?
Not I wouldn't consider it manning up. I'd consider it being more passive in the situation, to be honest.
Passive. Okay.
Because he's saying I'm upset. I'm upset. Not you piss me off.
Yeah.
And it could go that way for me. It could go, thinking beyond that scene. That it comes out that her identity gets more revealed.
I
Whether she's like, I don't know. She's whether she's a rental girlfriend, whether she's been heartbroken by a rental girlfriend, whether I don't know. The out of she's definitely out of Kazuya's friend's league, so maybe she's like a cancer patient maybe he is with a final wish.
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
Um. You brought up some interesting ideas in my head. So, why do you think that she went out of her way to pull aside Chizuru to tell her that she's a rental? Why do you think she did that? Like, because she didn't have to do that. Why did she do that? Doesn't it seem weird that you just go out of your way to pull them aside just to tell them this?
Maybe a professional courtesy.
So she's trying to tell Chizuru that she's pretty obvious, but she's not because no one else seems to catch on.
Yeah, but if you were working in the same industry, then you would definitely.
Oh, so you're saying that she just pulled her over to be like, "Hey, you're a rental," and then they were gonna be like, "Hey," and like do some camaraderie like behind the scenes, but then Chizuru still denies it and makes the situation awkward. Is that what you're saying? What happened?
Um, I don't know.
she seemed pretty. She seemed pretty serious when she told her that she was a rental as well, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really read into that stuff with anime. People show like varying levels of emotion for what they should be doing.
True, but sometimes anime can really kind of get the right emotion out because they have the freedom of animation to make things look really impactful. I
Yeah,
guess you could say it's extrapolated as well, as you like to say. But I also like it in a sense as well when they get that raw kind of really
it just
extrapolated emotion.
when she said it, it just felt like her being mega assertive. When she said, "You're a rental girlfriend, aren't you?" It just felt mega assertive the way she said it.
So why? So why did she do it? Why did she pull her aside to say it? What's her intention there?
Don't know. I'd either say a professional courtesy or just one of my other predictions on her true identity, like regarding maybe she's been hurt by a rental.
I don't
I don't
think
know.
there's
Maybe
like I
maybe she spent like her entire life, like I don't know, despising rental girlfriends, and she's been spying on them for like and she's been studying them.
okay, you've given a pretty interesting backstory. I don't think any of that's true.
Probably not. I'm just saying, it's just like who knows.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
like to watch and enjoy. I don't really think about too much in the future.
Yes, but it's our job to analyze. So I think that she's a rental, and she knows because she's part of that industry too, and she kind of understands the way you'd act with clients, and she catches on better than everyone else does because of that. And I think what's going to happen is, oh, so she's going to absolutely know. He's going to be like, oh, she's going to find out from him somehow, whether he tells her or something. And
Maybe.
she maybe she's just going to think of it as an opportunity and say she'll spin it in a way to I don't know, but it doesn't make sense to do that. She'll spin it in some kind of way to like bolster her rental girlfriend job. Like,
Yeah,
can you
maybe.
see that? Like, Yeah.
Maybe she on the other hand, maybe she won't fully figure it out, and it'll just add another aspect of having to deceive people to the show.
Yeah, but I
It'll
think
make it more intense for Kazuya, because there'll be a scene of her, the grandma, all his friends in the same room, and he's got to keep up 3 different lies at once.
uh, but you know what? It's usually not the things we predict though. So thinking outside of the box, maybe it's just gonna be. I actually forgot what I was just thinking about. Wow.
Like a power play,
No. A power play was what I initially thought, but I think that's what the
yeah,
obvious thing is.
to like boost her own business.
It has to be something else.
Mm,
Okay.
maybe
I,
she's
I, I
telling a lot
remember.
of clients.
I remember. So she's gonna find. So she almost practically knows that he's already dating a rental, but he's gonna find out that she's also a rental, and so they're just gonna have this. You don't say anything, I don't say anything kind of agreement, right? That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, I suppose that's likely, very likely.
But as to how, like, yeah, as to how Kazuya and this new girl Ruka are gonna have any like romantic um, build up or situations. I don't know how they're gonna build up on that because she's initially been established to date his best friend, whether it's a rental or not. It seems a bit weird to have her as a love interest after that, doesn't it?
No,
All right.
it'd make it very, very, very funny to watch. Where
Funny, eh?
they kind of build up a romance of going on double dates.
Possibly, but it feels like I
I
feel
doubt
like
that will happen, but it would be hilarious to watch.
you're saying that it's wait. So you're saying that she's gonna go on double dates with Kiri like all the time, but she's still gonna have a thing for Kazuya.
We're talking about Ruka, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Ruka's
Ruka and
gonna go on
Kazuya.
double dates with Kiri and Kazuya and Chizuru, but she's still gonna have something for Kazuya.
Yeah. I mean, it probably won't happen. Like, this is a very unlikely situation, but it would be funny to watch.
I guess.
Yeah, add an extra layer of drama.
I don't know if the author would do that though. Well, you got to um see. Well, Chizuru got a bit jealous when Ruka was taking Kazuya's attention. Remember?
Did she?
Yeah, remember
Can you describe it?
when they first met, when both the couples first met, he said, "Wait, I know you. You're the girl I ran into that one time." And he's looking at her like all kind of
Oh
blush.
no, she looked kind of pissed off because he was stuck in thought looking at her.
Yeah, she's getting a little bit jealous, right?
Oh, she's in girlfriend mode, so she's
Yeah. I mean, whether it's real or not, but you could say that you can almost see jealousy coming out of her. So it might play to that dynamic more. I think it makes more sense to play to that dynamic because it's already established it a little bit. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, I think that's about all the episode. Is there any last words you want to say, Ruben?
Yeah, I got a question for you.
What is the question?
When when Chizuru was walking up to Kazuya for the kiss, you got to answer it for Mac right now. Like, how excited were you?
When Chizuru is walking up to Kazuya to kiss him.
And you got to pretend when you're answering this that you're Mac, as he was not available today.
Pretend like I'm back. He did not deserve any love from Chizuru. She is too good for him. Chizuru just needs to find someone that's better for her. But you know what? If she's just gonna be alone without Kazuya, then fine. She can just be with Kazuya then. Whatever. Well, that's what I think
Oh.
Mac would say.
Wow, Mac, I thought you'd actually be episode 1. Mac would have been excited for that kiss. A lot has changed in these last episodes, though, I guess.
Wait,
Thanks
I
for
don't,
coming, Mac.
I don't think Mac was ever a fan of Kazuya though, including episode 1.
Yeah, but he was on Team Kazuya Chizuru ship instead of Kazuya
Because it was the only
Mami.
he thinks of it like this. It's the only realistic ship because she's not going to go with anyone else in the show. Like they're the two main characters. You can almost it's very unlikely, and he just wants Chizuru to be happy. So if he thinks that she's happy being with Kazuya, then he's gonna ultimately be fine with it, even if he doesn't like Kazuya himself.
Okay. Another question. How do you feel about Mami in the whole situation? Like, do you think that she's just going to be forgotten,
You're
or do you
really
think
laying
she'll?
down these questions on me. All right,
Yeah. Well,
we're reversing the roles.
she didn't make a single appearance this episode.
Oh, speaking of that, I completely forgot to announce everyone for this episode. That's funny. Okay. Yeah. So, Mami, what were you saying about Mami?
Well, do you think that she's going to be completely forgotten, or because she didn't make a single appearance this episode, or do you think she'll make like some big return
She
and
did make an
mess everything
appearance
up?
this episode. Don't you remember?
Did she?
At the university when they were
Yeah,
telling their
okay.
friends that they were going out again.
Yeah,
She's like, "Oh, this is so annoying."
1 second. Like she didn't even talk. She didn't even make a facial expression, from
Yeah,
what I remember.
but it tells you how she feels during this episode, at least during the time frame of this episode. She's not happy. She's definitely going to return. I don't obviously she's going to. She's one of the 4 main girls, right? We know about 3 of them now. There's just one more, and I'm pretty sure all those 4 girls are going to be fairly centric towards the plot, so we can expect to see them.
How do you think that she'll return? Like, do you think she'll come in with
She
vengeance, with a heart only for Kazuya?
Do you think she's just completely left the plot by this point?
It feels
She's
like it,
still in
right?
Kazuya's friend group, right? Like they're still gonna maybe hang out at some point or do something, and she's gonna be there. And
Yeah, but
they even have the
a lot
same
of these.
classes together. It's not like they're just not gonna see each other. There's gonna be moments where there's opportunities where they'll run into each other again.
Yeah, but like this episode, she wasn't even like in the foreground. She was in the background of one scene,
Well,
and every
yeah, well, because they introduced a new character. I guess they want to focus more
yeah.
on the new character.
All right,
It's
we'll
episodic.
talk it up to that. I
All
think
right.
it's weird that she was left out that hard. Like usually, as Mac would say, there's a scene of her being psychotic.
Yeah, she's pretty psycho. Yeah, I love how every episode where I think it's going to be short, whether it's due to less guests on the show or just not too much going on in the episode, ends up being the longest one. I bet this one's going to be really long too. I've lost
So
track of time because of all the technical difficulties, but
it's
wow.
because of a setup episode. There's more to predict.
I guess, or maybe we just have more to say, or maybe we're so worried about having more to say that we just end up saying more than we really initially wanted to. I think that's what it is. All the technical difficulties. Anyway, uh, that was a pretty good episode overall. I liked it. Sets us up for what happens next. I'm interested to see. So our predictions, we'll see whether those come are correct or not. Anyway, if anyone watching did enjoy the episode, feel free to leave a like. If you didn't, also feel free to leave a dislike, but you can also leave us a comment to say why you didn't like it. I'm open to criticism. So, yeah. Anyway, if you did enjoy, we'll be doing this weekly, so be sure to catch us next week on Saturday. And yeah, thanks for watching. Later.